Hi guys, welcome back. Sorry for the last minute video before the match day 2, but everything is going so fast. Just this morning we have the last match of the round 1, and now in like 2 or 3 hours, 3 hours from now we're gonna have start of the round 2. So let's dive in straight into the transfer strategies. Okay, so first of all, before we start talking about concrete players, let's just go through a little bit who has the best round 2 matches. So because we have unlimited transfers after the group stage ends, it's also good now. It's like 50-50. If some player has a really good second round and then maybe not so good third round, it's still sometimes worth to pick him. And what we can see here are some of the top teams have great rounds overall. I think Brazil had a very tough match in the round 1. They didn't play well, so I'm not sure who's gonna play up front. So I would not pick any Brazil strikers, but I would probably go to more offensive players, and especially players in the defense. They're gonna have a lot of short passes, long balls. They're probably gonna go for a clean sheet against Haiti. I really hope for that. Then we have France. France played a pretty good match against Senegal. They couldn't concede. At the end, they even concede one. It was really tiny offside by Jackson. But I think they're also gonna keep a clean sheet against Iraq as well. So you need to look for your premium transfer here somewhere, Brazil or France. Spain, I'm not so sure what to think about Spain. They're still going to have a lot of passes. Maybe they're not going to concede as well, but how many goals are they going to score? I have Oyarzabal. I'm going to keep him from round 2 as well to see what is happening with him, but I'm a bit afraid that he's not going to start. Let's see. Portugal as well, similar to Spain. They had a lot of short passes. They played kind of well, but also passive. I don't know what to do with those guys. Maybe to pick a defender from Portugal, see what's happening up front. Will Ronaldo play for how long? And then a couple of teams that are more interesting. Ecuador has a game against the worst opponent, Curacao. But what I saw from Curacao, they can score goals. And Ecuador defenders are not priced so low. And then they play Germany in round 3. Maybe I would pick a midfielder from Ecuador, so they can still get some attacking returns maybe there, but still, because Curacao is going to concede a lot probably. But will I go from Ecuador forward here? Maybe Ener Valencia, their forever guy. But he's still also on the decline in his career, so I'm not so sure. Then Uruguay against Cape Verde. I'm maybe gonna go even for a player from Cape Verde. Some of those guys in defense, they're gonna have a lot of work, even if they don't score. Even if they don't have a clean sheet, they are still worth taking as Bosnian players. You will later see. And also Croatia. Croatia, I don't know. They were a bit slow and organized against England, which is not what we usually see against from Croatia. But I think they're gonna bounce back and beat Panama. But will they concede? How many goals will they score? Will Musa play or Budimir? I think I would pick Baturina maybe. So let's go and see some of the premium picks. There. So I mean, this is pretty straightforward. I don't think you need an opinion from me here. Mbappe scored 2 goals. Gonna score more probably against Iraq. Then in round 3, I'm not so sure. Vini is like hot and cold, but when he's hot, he's super hot. He has a game against Haiti. Who would play in Brazil's attack? I'm not sure. So Vini is interesting. Then the English players are very interesting. They're fast. They had a good game against Croatia. Their set piece danger as well. Harry Kane is marvelous. I mean, this is just expensive players, but we can see with some strategies, maybe we can take some of the lower, value picks, some players that played really well in the first round. There are hidden gems, and then go transfer to maybe players that are valued more, and then transfer in some of those guys like Kane or Mbappe, or some of the players that are not valued so much, but they played fantastic in the first match, scored a lot of points, like Jude Bellingham. Not so sure about him, but he has a very good game and he can score for sure and do so much on the pitch, as well as Pedri, who I don't like Pedri as SofaScore Fantasy asset, uh, but if they attack a lot, he's a good value. If they don't attack a lot, he's not a good value, but I think they're going to attack a lot against Saudi Arabia, against Uruguay. I'm not so sure. Probably yes as well. So I would think of picking Pedri maybe, because it's going to be there on key passes, short passes, and stuff like that against Saudi Arabia as well. I just don't like that he's not so good on goals and assists, but for that price. But we'll see. Okay, let's go into the more interesting things. Next we have goalies. There are a couple of goalies. I had Crapo and Vargas. They both conceded, but they were really fluke goals. They could easily kept a clean sheet. They had some points, but I'm not satisfied. But still, they're so cheap. They're still value picks. Rangel from Mexico was a great pick for the first round. I'm not so sure about the second round, but then in the third round he also has a good game. Suzuki was awesome. It was much better at shot stopping than I was expecting. Than he was at Parma last season, but he's also good with high punches, high claims, passes, long balls. And then Calindes from Ecuador. Will he concede? Will he not concede against Curacao? Curacao will have some chances, but yeah, he can be like a gamble value. I think they still have a high chance of not conceding. I just think that Curacao plays this Dutch type of football when they, create a lot of chances. Then let's go to defenders. So these are a couple of defenders that are maybe from good teams and they're familiar players, but they played really good in the round one, and this game suits them. Like Oliveira, who is in defense in Uruguay, but he's very offensive. He got a lot of points, although Uruguay didn't hold a clean sheet. He was all over the place. Similar with Mehele, if I'm pronouncing this correctly. He's just 4.5. He's had so much points. Against Egypt, they also didn't keep a clean sheet, and now they have games where they can also keep a clean sheet on top of all of those points they were accumulating. Mandi from Algeria, I personally didn't know about him. He didn't score so many points, but just because he conceded a lot of goals against Argentina, he played against Messi, so I think in this game he has a chance to be even better without those minus points for conceding goals against Jordan and then later Austria. Kubarsi is a value pick for me because they have a high chance of keeping clean sheet, and he's great with short passes, long balls. His rating's probably going to be above 8, which is 2 additional points. He's nailed to play for sure. One of the surprising players when I was researching all the ratings and points from round 1 was Larrière from Canada. I think he even plays in MLS or Canadian League. But he had rating over 8 with no goals and assists, but a couple of key passes, interceptions, clearances. He didn't even keep a clean sheet, and he has a lot of points. So against Qatar, they can keep a clean sheet, so I would consider him for sure. And then Katic and Muharevic were awesome against Canada. They had so many clearances. I think Muharevic had 4 points just out of clearances, and Katic 3 points just out of clearances. But he also had points out of tackles and interceptions and blocked shots. Even had a clearance offline, but that you cannot control. You just get it or you don't get it. It's really rarely that you get clearance off the line. But against Switzerland, they can just repeat this. So Katic or Muharevic are great picks. They're probably going to score even if they concede like 5-6 points at least, because they're going to defend a lot. Bosnia is probably going to play that. They played against Canada like that. They're going to play against Italy. No, not really like against Italy, because they conceded early, but they usually play like that. And while they have 0-0, they will play like that. And Katic or Muharevic are going to have a lot of clearances, duels, interceptions. Probably not going to keep a clean sheet, but they can rack up those points. And then in the third rounds against, you have them against Qatar as well. So maybe they're not going to have so many defensive duties against Qatar, but maybe they can keep a clean sheet. So that's a value in itself for the third round. Then for midfielders, I really like Rabiot. He was awesome, always in whatever fantasy I played. This year in Milan, in Serie A, SofaScore Fantasy was also awesome. He can score, he can assist, he's nailed in France. He's doing so much around the pitch. And if you want to go into that France side, you don't have so much budget left, go for Rabiot. He has now 2 games. This game is going to be much easier. Maybe he can score an assist again. He's probably going to rack up a lot of points. So if you don't have for premiums like Mbappe or Nolise, go for him for sure. Kang In Lee played marvelous game against Mexico. I mean, in Beom, who is also on this list because he's just 4.6 now, was 4.5. But Kang In Lee played even better game overall. Inbeom scored more points because he scored and assisted, but Kang In Lee was there for dribbles as well. He had 5 dribbles, 1 more dribble, he will get 1 more point. He was really there, very close. I think I would transfer him in, along with maybe Bosnia defender. I'll see. I still didn't make my transfer. So I'm gonna wait for the last minute. Then Ruben Vargas, he's in midfield in Switzerland in this game, but he's playing a winger. And in the match against Qatar, he had, I think, most number of like missed chances from any guy. So he's there. He's getting into his chances. He had a couple of key passes. He was good. He didn't score marvelous, but he's good. He's a winger. They're gonna play against Bosnia. They're gonna attack a lot. Maybe he will get into chances again, and this time he will score. But Turina also revelation on Serie A SofaScore Fantasy last year. He can score for sure. He can assist. He can dribble. He can pass. After this match against England, he's gonna be nailed. They're playing Panama. They're probably gonna score a couple of goals, but Turina will be there. Then Ashur from Egypt, he has a really good game against Belgium, and now they're playing New Zealand. He's just 5. I think that's a no-brainer if you don't have large budget. You want to mix your time slots because of the captaincy a little bit. And then in Baum that we mentioned, he's a great player. That's why I picked him for round 1 as well. He was my captain at the end of the round 1. At the end, he didn't score most points. If I had Messi, I would score a couple of more, but that's saying a lot. Messi with hat-trick scored just a little bit above in Baum. And then for forwards, it's a bit mixed. Quinones, I don't know if I'm saying his name properly. Quinones from Mexico. God, he's such a great player. I didn't know him because he never played in Europe. I see he played in Mexico and then he moved to, I think, Saudi Arabia. But he was a leading goal scorer in Saudi Arabia. I didn't know that. Don't follow Saudi Arabia that much. But he's such a great player. I mean, yeah, he scored. He hit the woodwork, but he was all over the pace, dribbles. He could score another, assisted. He was looking like Messi against South Africa. I don't know. I'll wait and see how he looks against Korea, but he's a great player. Then I have Larin, who just came in against Bosnia, scored immediately. So maybe he's going to be trusted against Qatar. But this is, I'm not sure. He's not nailed, so I'm not sure if we're going to pick him, but he's great value. Musa is not nailed. I mean, he played the first match, he scored, but will Dalic think that Budimir is better because of the air threat against Panama, who has short defenders? I'm not sure he's going to play, but if there are any indication that some of those guys will be nailed, I'll probably choose them. I will check the lineups again before I make transfers. Then Embolo, I mean, Switzerland will go probably 100% against Bosnia. I mean, it's a no-brainer, but they got just a point against Qatar. I think they feel it's a must-win against Bosnia. They're a better team than Bosnia. So I think they are going to score a couple of goals against Bosnia. Then Raul Jimenez, he was also fantastic against South Africa. He was all over the place, always on that headers in duels. He's a value pick for sure. Balogun, I was thinking about him before the round 1 because US has a great attack. And then, when everything collides, the ball goes to Balogun. He's so fast. he's a great player, and he has great chemistry with like Pulisic. So I think he's a value pick. Maybe Chris Wood, because he can also an assist. He's a great player for not just scoring goals but for assists. So maybe him. But those are value picks. No, I'm not sure about forwards. I mean, the forwards were doing great so far. Haaland, Kane, Mbappe, Messi, whoever you chose, they score 2 or 3 goals, which is fine. But without goals, they are not worth so much as defenders and midfielders. So we're gonna see and we're gonna see if they're gonna continue scoring goals. Some of them have tougher matches going forward. So we'll see. And then about the strategy, I think I'm gonna choose 2 players like Mechele, who is such a cheap asset, and he has next 2 games are very good for him. And then maybe someone who is also cheaper, like Quinones from Mexico. And then I'm gonna go for value pick, someone from like I don't know from midfield, maybe Olise or Vini or Mbappe in attack. So I think I'm gonna first get some money from those 2 transfers, which are still great picks, especially Mehele. He can also keep a clean sheet. Maybe Oliveira, I'll see how much budget I have left, and then go for one of these premium assets, either from France or from Brazil, maybe. I already have Gabriel in defense. I didn't have, surprisingly, I don't know how I ended up having no French players. I was having them in some of the first drafts, then later I somehow removed them. I wanted Olise, but he was too expensive. I then picked Doku. Doku had underwhelming game against Egypt, but they were targeting him. They were doubled him. So I think I will give him a chance in the next round as well. Because he tried 9 dribbles, but he succeeded just in 3 dribbles, which is not good. He didn't get any points. He was just at 2 points at the end, but I think he's going to be better in the next round. We'll see. Sorry for the late video. I'll try to do a video much faster next time, because I was waiting for the entire round to finish before making the video. I should have made my video before and then just not include info from the last couple of matches. But yeah, you'll live and learn. Yeah, so until the next round, probably maybe I'm gonna create some video between now and match day 3, and then especially after match day 3, we have unlimited budget for the round of 32. Some teams are gonna go out. We're gonna know more about certain players. So okay, until next video, bye guys.